That means no Christmas dinner for an army of volunteers that work tirelessly to make this event the success it always is. Throughout the years, there have been many changes. Champions, both past and present, regularly return to this iconic event, and each year the professionalism of teams and riders increases. A case in point is Bernard Racing.
Give us a quick rundown of the team you've got.
There's myself riding the latest Suzuki GSX-R 1000, Dennis Charlotte also riding a 1000 and a 600 this year. Craig Sheriffs, the national 600 champion, is riding a Suzuki 600 for me, and we took on young apprentice, if you like to say apprentice, Carl Morgan, 16-year-old that's showing some real potential to be the next Aaron Slide, if you like.
The future of New Zealand motorcycling is in the hands of riders like Carl Morgan. At just 16 years of age and still a student at Auckland's Avondale College, he already has a Grand Prix title to his name, the 125 Grand Prix of 2003. 29-year-old plumber and drain layer Craig Sheriffs was always going to race motorcycles, the family name iconic in the sport in New Zealand. Racing the Suzuki GSX-R 600 for Brian Bernard Racing this season and attempting to defend his sports production title and Battle of the Streets title is priority number one.
You got the added pressure this year of not only riding but being the team manager, the team owner. How's that all coming together?
Oh, pretty well actually. Yeah, there is a bit more added pressure, a few more extra hours, but no, it's really starting to pay off and the team's looking really good. Had a lot of compliments about how nice the team looks this year, and we've got some good support again from Suzuki and from Pirelli Tyres and Shell Advance, so yeah, as well as all our other sponsors, so it's really good.
Well, this is the 51st running of the Cemetery Circuit at Wanganui, and what a fitting way to start it off with race number 2, the Sidecars. Jolette Motorcycles sponsor it, and my opportunity to introduce my co-commentator, a man that's been racing here since 1979, Paul Pavletich. This is going to be something special.
This is a real established race circuit. It's been around for 51 years. The crowd love it. It's full of action. It's really a fantastic environment.
Well, you said it's full of action, and that's what we've come to expect from the Sidecars. We're on board here with the Lawrence brothers, currently sitting in 3rd place. But the best of the starts looked like it came from rig number 5. We'll just wait for them to come up onto Taupo Key for the first of 5 times. Pretty close quarters action, as you can imagine. And it is Craig McGregor and Ed Rayleigh in the front as they work their way over the railway line for the first time. 31, the Lawrence brothers, they carry our camera. They're back in 3rd place. 13's got through. Phil Law and Angus Ravenhood on the Honda. So they're the race leaders now into the first lap. Listen to the tyres squeal. Look at the body English from the swinger. That's what it's all about. Brilliant conditions here at Wanganui, and the Sidecars, and the crowd loves this, Paul.
It's going to take a bit of time, maybe 1 or 2 laps, I'm predicting, for the Lawrence boys to come through. They're on a 600cc machine. This is an English import. It's not going to get the jump off the start like the big 1100cc Suzukis and 1000cc Yamahas, but trust me, give them a bit of time and they're going to really push hard.
Well, we've got the best seat in the house because we're on board with the Lawrence brothers as they work their way down the short chute onto Taupo Key once again. 13, though, it is in the front. Phil Law and Angus Ravenhood from Gisborne and Rotorua, respectively. Watch, though, for Craig McGregor, the Auckland Finance Racing team. They're really starting to put on a bit of a charge now.
Wasn't that just so exciting seeing that race cam? It just makes me wiggle in my seat seeing this footage. It's probably the most exciting track in New Zealand. There's always something happen. It takes you 55 odd seconds to get around. There's no time to rest. You've got to have 110% concentration or you're in big trouble around here.
Lawrence brothers starting to get a little bit closer on rig number 31, I beg your pardon, Chris and Richard Lawrence. As Paul told you, that rig comes from Europe, from England. It's an Isle of Man sidecar. It's only 600cc, but it is as light as you'd like. Now, you'd probably think to yourself, the last thing you'd want in one of these things would be lightness. You'd want a bit of strength around you, but not with the Lawrence boys and not with the way these guys think. 13 still leads it. Phil Law and Angus Ravenhood.
Yeah, you've got to carry good cornering speed. When you're carrying 2 guys that are weighing around 80, 85 kgs each, and you've only got 600ccs, you've got to carry fast cornering speed. These other big machines like the McGregor rig, that's a big Kawasaki, that's probably 1100cc. The Mitchell Moore, that's a Yamaha R1 motor. They're pumping out 145 horsepower. You know, you don't have to have such fast cornering speed. You can square the corners off and just power out, wheel spin those little wheels and jump out like a slingshot.
Well, you can certainly see from those onboard shots just how tight it is around this Wanganui circuit. And, well, the Lawrence brothers, you've got to say, they've got a bit of work to do. It's only 5 laps, so it's virtually a sprint for these guys. Phil Law and Angus Ravenwood got the very best of the starts, and they went past Craig McGregor up on Taupo Key for the first time, and they've held on to it. So McGregor back in second for the moment. We're on board with third place. And you really get an idea of two things here, Paul. One, the crowd, and two, the speed down the Taupo Key, the longest part of straight road in this whole circuit. Nobody goes for hot dogs when the sidecars are on. It's so exciting watching the guys, the swingers, hang off the side. I was lucky enough to have a swing in one of these machines a number of years back, and I was amazed at how physical it is to hang on as a swinger in one of these machines. It tears your shoulders out.
Dave Annan and Phil Duthie on the 27, and right in behind them it is Ian Mitchellmore and Brian Wyeth on the Yamaha R1, the number 19. So that's the battle for the minors. Out on the front though, it is number 13. Well, this scrap getting a little bit tight here, Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on Craig McGregor and Ed Rayleigh, because I've watched them over the winter series at Pukekohe and they've been getting faster and faster. And Craig McGregor, man, he's focused.
Well, Dave Annan and Phil Duthie been around for a while in sidecar racing. There is the number 13 rig. This is Phil Law and Angus Ravenswood. They're still the race leaders as they head out of the S's. And it looks like the number 5 just getting a little bit closer now. So maybe your prediction is coming true. Look at some of the machines here as we dive into the lap traffic. This is Donna Tito and Brian Craig.
Yeah, ladies make really good passengers because they're quite agile, they're very light. You want to be carrying the minimum amount of weight as you can to get good power to weight ratio.
And just with them, number 74, Bruce Williamson and Paul Brinkholm on a Triumph, a 1955 vintage Triumph. You don't have to have the latest equipment here at the Cemetery Circuit. 51st year of its running. We're watching the sidecars, Jolette Motorcycles, and I think you just got a glimpse of a rig stop there. We'll just better check on that for you. Down Taupo Key comes the race leader. There is number 5, so they're A-OK. And there is the Lawrence brothers, and I think we might have lost somebody out on the circuit. We'll just keep an eye on that for you at the moment. We're back on board here with the Lawrence brothers through the S's, out past Suzuki and heading down towards the Robert Holden as we work our way up there. And there you are, you see the rig just sitting on the side of the road. And I've got a feeling that that may be Phil Law and Angus Ravenwood. So we've lost the race leaders. So that means Craig McGregor is now the race leader. Ed Rayleigh, there they are there, over the top of the bridge, down past the start-finish line they come. Checkered flag comes out. Well, you've got to feel sorry for Phil Law and Angus Ravenwood, but you've got to feel elated, I guess, for Craig McGregor. He gets the win. In second place, it's the Lawrence brothers on the 600 machine, remember. In third place, it is Wyeth and Mitchellmore. And in fourth place, the veterans, Annan and Duthie. What did you think when you saw your opposition stopped on the side of the road?
Thank God for that. I was chasing as hard as I could. I was having a bit of trouble with my front tyre locking up, and I thought I'll just sit there and wait for him. Hopefully he'll make a mistake, and unfortunately something happened and he pulled over.
So this is the Dowman Honda Formula Streets, and essentially all the top runners on 600 machines are here, Paul. Who's your pick? Will it be number 37, the Gremlin?
Well, it'd have to be the favourite, Sean Harris or Craig Sheriff, really. They're the two top dogs out here at the moment. Harris, look at his positions he's managed to achieve at the Isle of Man. Just remarkable.
So leading him into the first turn, but some problems there, and that is Carl Morgan, I believe, on the 23 machine, the young protege, ex-125 national champion, and then of course moved on to the 600. So the race has been stopped, and Carl Morgan, it is on the tarmac.
Well, his dad, Lance, he'll be sweating.
So getting set for a restart. A fantastic start in the first try. That was bike number 37. Watch him on the right-hand side of your screen. Outside of him is number 1. That's Craig Sheriffs. And once again, it's going to be New Plymouth. Sean Harris lead them into turn number 1. Sheriffs is glued right onto the back mudguard as they work their way out of Firestone and down onto the Taupo Key for the first time. Suzuki in the front. So what happened there, Paul Pavletic?
He just left his braking a little bit later, barged up the inside. Wanganui is all about going in hard, braking, and if you have to do a bit of up the inside manoeuvring, that's what you have to do.
So number 1 out in the front, that is Craig Sheriffs. I can tell you, he is the fastest motorcycle here at the Cemetery Circuit thus far. He has gone faster than the Formula 1 machines, the Superbikes, and he's gone faster on this machine, and that is the Bernard Racing GSXR 600. Right in behind him, the new Honda, that is Sean Harris, and you just got a glimpse of number 69, and great to see Jared Love fighting at the front of the field again, Paul.
There's really nothing between these two brands too, the Suzuki, the Honda. I've ridden them both, and they're both outstanding motorcycles. They're weighing in at around 165 kgs and dynoing at 105 horsepower, so the power to weight ratio is phenomenal.
So Sheriffs, then it is the man on your screen at the moment, bike number 37, that is Sean Harris. Further down through the field there, bike number 42, this is Chris Bridge on a Ducati, so a slightly different sound from what we're used to at the front of the field. And as we go back to the front, we see that Sheriffs has started to move away. 37, Harris told us that this year the priority is the National Championship, that number 1 plate, so maybe we're not going to see the fire and brimstone that we normally see for this nuggety rider from New Plymouth.
I don't believe it. I truly don't believe it. Sean Harris, he's a fighter. He'll be doing everything he can to close that gap. He hates losing.
So the Castrol Honda of Sean Harris sits in second place, chasing Craig Sheriffs oh so hard. And Sheriffs, this is meat and drink to him, all and a little bit sideways as they come out to the Taupo Key once again. But he's not close enough, is he? Harris closes the gaps up under braking. Long way back to bike 69, and that is Jared Love. And then it's number 66. Now this kid's a bit of a sensation too, Paul Pavlet. It's because he, of course, won the Winter Series for the Victoria Motorcycle Club, and that's Johan Bruns.
Yeah, Johan Bruns. I think he's a bit of a dark horse for later in the day. He's getting faster and faster, and you're dead right, he won the Formula 1 and Formula 2 Winter Series, so keep an eye out on him later on in the day.
So this is the battle at the front of the field. Dowman Honda bring it to you. Formula Street, third place man there, Jared Love on the Pirelli sponsored Suzuki, and then it's Johan Bruns, the Wellington Motorcycle Centre rider. But now Sean Harris may be moving in for the kill.
He's taking the high, wide line. He's trying to get a little bit more momentum to drive up to have a crack at outbraking him at the next corner.
Well, how many times have we seen that lap traffic could be going to play a part in this one? Let's see what happens. They get by cleanly. Barry Long does the sensible thing and moves away as they go up over the railway station through the S's, heading down towards Robert Holden. And Sheriffs has got that little bit of an advantage again. But as we said, there's none that try harder than number 37, Sean Harris. Once again, a lap traffic is going to play a part, and once again they dispose of him quickly and without incident.
It's really frustrating when you come up to these guys. I mean, they're doing everything they can to stay out of the way. In fact, a lot of the time they don't even know you're coming.
So the checkered flag falls, and number 1, Craig Sheriff, takes the win. In second place, it will be Sean Harris on the Honda, and in third place, it was number 7, Terry Fitzgerald. He's got up and pipped both Johan Bruns, Craig Gollop, and Jared Love. Matthew Meads through, and behind him, Sean Bishop. Craig, well, we said we'd talk to you when you came through the winner's circle. That's what you've done. You must be pretty happy.
Yeah, no, I'm wrapped with that. I could hear Sean the whole way. I only looked once till about second to last lap. Just sort of needed to know how close he was, and I tightened up my lines a lot on the last lap.
So can you turn it round the next time?
I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm enjoying it now. I mean, up until now, I haven't really enjoyed myself. Just then, I had a lot of fun on the bike, so I'll give it my best shot next time out. And hey, if Craig beats me again, he's a better rider on the day, and fair play to him.
Pirelli sponsor the Formula Wanganui, and this is one that the big crowd here always looks forward to. And we've got a bit of a clash of the Titans here, and the best of the starts looks like it might have come from bike number 69, and that's Jared Love. Right in behind him was Brian Bernard by the look of it, and one down. Just have a look at that. I think that might have been number 14. We'll have a look if we can. But 69, Jared Love in the front. He's on a 750 in this one. He races a 600 in the Formula Streets, but he's on a 750 in this one, Paul. So what will be the major difference he'll be sort of having to factor in here?
Well, it's a bit of a compromise, really. I'll go through the capacities. The 1000s, they're running at 150 plus horsepower. The 750s running around about 130 horsepower. And the 600s, they're just over 100, around 105. So the 1000s, believe me, they are a real handful around here. You're whacking them up in first and second gear, which is a lot of slow-speed corners here, and they just want to light up and go sideways. You can see a lot of the black marks as they spin the wheels coming out of the corners. 750 is not so prone to doing that, and Jared's probably taken a bit of a gamble and thought, I'll use the drive to make some moves.
Well, just got a little bit sideways as he comes out onto Taupo Key once again. Jared Love now back into second place. There he is. Pirelli sponsored machine. Great to see, as we said earlier, back into the full swing of racing. He had some nasty accidents a few seasons ago, and it certainly marred what was to be a promising career. And really, it's been the story of Jared Love. He started off in motocross, but a few too many injuries saw him move on to road racing. Similar to what his dad did, of course. His father, Laurie, ex-motocross national champion, ex-road racing national champion. And you have to say, Paul, the genes certainly are in the family. Bernard in the front.
Yeah, Laurie Love, I remember watching him motocross, and he was just wow, amazing is the word I'd use. He was leagues ahead of the others. Jared, I haven't written him off. He's still a young bloke. You're right, he took a pounding at Pyro and took a bit of a head injury, but looking at this performance, he's back and he means business.
So first two are Suzuki's. Rodney Knapp, we mentioned him before. He's well, a local, but he's domiciled in Australia these days, and he comes back every year for the cemetery circuit. He absolutely loves it, and he is a great racer, and he was a great racer in his day, wasn't he, Paul?
He was. Back in the late 80s, he was at the very sharp end of the fields, and didn't see him for a few years, and now he's showing that he's still got the fire in his belly.
Well, another man with fire in his belly is Lance Lowe on the 99 machine, the Mount Eden Motorcycles.
Lance Lowe, Wheel King, he's just a wheelie champion and does the best stoppies I think I've ever seen, so he's a very talented motorcycle rider.
Well, he certainly does it in the stunt riding, but he also puts it together on the roads and on the circuits around New Zealand, and he's been doing it for a good long time now. And there he is, 99, Lance Lowe from Auckland. Right in behind him is Rodney Knapp. And then I think we might find Dennis Charlotte the next one through. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So that's a battle further down through the field.
Now, I'm surprised Dennis Charlotte's not a little bit further up the field, because last year he was, always first, second or third, never further back. So maybe he got a poor start, got tangled up in that crash at the start. Who knows?
So this is the battle we continue on for the moment. 99, Lance Lowe in 5th place, I think it is now, number 22, and that is Rodney Knapp. Remember, the race leader is Brian Bernard. Jared Love sits in 2nd place, so we might shuffle them up the order. These guys might be 3rd and 4th. There is bike number 2, and that is Brian Bernard, so he's already starting to put the heat on some of the lap riders. Number 34 there, Merv Tangaroa from Wanganui.
It's interesting to see, you'd think that the extra 30 horsepower would just vanish, but, there's only a handful of guys in this country that can ride a 1000cc sports production, to the full potential. And Jared Love, he's not giving up. He's got the hammer down.
Bike number 89 there, Mark Richardson. I think we saw him come down in the Chris Dawes Memorial race. Meantime, no hint of coming down for Brian Bernard. He said he wanted to make it a popular homecoming here at Wanganui, and he's done just that. He takes another win. He wins Formula Wanganui, and he acknowledges the big crowd here right around the circuit. In 2nd place, it will be Jared Love out of Hamilton. 3rd place, Auckland's Lance Lowe. In 4th, Australia's Rodney Knapp now. And in 5th place, it is Danny Burke's Dennis Charlotte. Behind him, Timaru's John Hepburn, Peter Tanner, and Ronnie Jude. This is heat number 2 of the Jolette Motorcycles sponsored sidecars, and watch for the start from number 5. In fact, you can hardly see him in the screen. There he is in the middle now. The Auckland Finance Racing Team, that is Craig McGregor and Ed Rayleigh. They were credited with the win in race number 1 after Phil Law and Angus Ravenwood stopped. Now, there is no sign of the Law Ravenwood rig there, so obviously the problems have been terminal. We're on board here with the Lawrence brothers. Remember, the Lawrence brothers on a European rig and only 600cc's, and you heard Paul Pavlidis say before that they would really be handicapped off the start.
Yeah, in these 5-lap sprint races, you've got to get a good start, otherwise you're swimming against the tide. The Yamaha got the jump then. The Yamaha, Kawasaki was in 2nd spot, then another Yamaha in 3rd.
Every year the Wanganui Cemetery Circuit has a little bit of a rethink about what they're going to do, or the organising committee of the circuit decide to make some changes. This year they've resurfaced parts of it, and that's a double-edged sword, isn't it, Paul? Because, the white lines are still there for everyone to see, and if we get rain, those white lines can be pretty treacherous. New race leader as they head out of the start-finish straight now, down onto Taupo Key once again, and it is number 5, Craig McGregor and Ed Rayleigh, 19 through in 2nd place. That's Ian Mitchellmore and Brian Wyeth on the Yamaha R1, and in 3rd place it is the Lawrence brothers on that 600cc Yamaha rig. And then I think we might have had a glimpse there of rig number 38, Jerry Frith and Paul Tier, so we'll keep an eye on them. That's the battle further down through the field, but it is Craig McGregor. He'd love to make a clean sweep here of the sidecars. You heard Paul Pavlidis say as the Lawrence brothers dive up the inside of Ian Milchmore, so that was a great pass. You heard Paul say earlier on that these guys have been getting faster and faster and faster. They've been doing a little bit of testing at Pukekohe. Of course, we had the first round of the National Championship there just a few weeks ago, so they are prime.
Yep, the boys from Wellsford mean business.
Auckland's Lawrence brothers there, rig number 31, and doesn't that rig just look a picture? It is appreciably lighter than anything else on the road here at Wanganui today in the sidecar ranks anyway. let's give you an idea how fast they're going around here. The quickest bikes are just nudging the sub 50-second run. These guys are doing it just under the minute. So 58 around about the time we would expect from the front running sidecars. And when you consider that you've got a passenger to contend with, a little bit of extra weight and an extra wheel, that's not bad going at all, Paul Pavlidich.
Oh, certainly is. I can remember back in the old days when Richard Scott was set the mission when he came here with the British Honda NS500, and all eyes were on Richard Scott back in around about 1986 to break under that 50-second mark, and every stopwatch in the country I think was on him, and he was the first man to break under 50 seconds. They made it a little bit easier a couple of years back when they made the flower garden where the Robert Holden Memorial is, made it a little bit wider, so that carried a little bit more cornering speed. So 50 seconds for a motorbike is flying, and these bikes aren't that much slower.
You get a graphic example of just how tight and twisty it is here at Wanganui. 5 McGregor in the front, 31 Lawrence up into second place now, and then it is number 38 Jerry Frith and Paul Tier, the Applecross FZR 1000, so a Yamaha powered machine. The Applecross, of course, a recognised brand in road racing sidecars. There it is there.
These things are really hard work too. You can see the steering head shaking as the pilots are trying to control them best they can, and over those railway lines there, man, do you have to hang on because they're bumpy ass.
81 there was Wayne Mullins and Nick Ashton on yet another Yamaha powered machine, the Yamaha R1. Yellow flag's out, so there's been a problem, and well, can't quite read the number from here. I think it might have been number 27. We'll just get a check on that for you. Have a look at that. All the style in the world. Bruce Williamson and Paul Blinkholm on the old Triumph. Look at that. Looks like they're on the dirt, Paul. I think they've probably got a speedway pedigree, these guys.
Yeah, well, they've got 18 or 19-inch wheels. It certainly looks spectacular. He needs to flick his visor down.
Stu Upex and Jason Pickering sneaking up on them as well. Oh, some problems for the Lawrence brothers. The hand comes out, and I think it might be all over for the Aucklanders as the number 19 rig of Ian Mitchell-Moore and Brian Wyeth go past them as well. So the Lawrence brothers run looks like it's come to an end. 38, though, currently sits in second. This is Jerry Frith and Paul Tier, the FZR 1000 machine, and they're chasing rig number 5, the Auckland Finance rig, Craig McGregor and Ed Rayleigh. And Ed Rayleigh and Craig McGregor coming down to the checkered flag, so they make it 2 for 2 in the sidecars, and that is a great performance in front of a big crowd here in the 51st running of the Cemetery Circuit. Sidecars once again falls to McGregor and Rayleigh. In second place it is Frith and Tier, and in third place it is Wyeth and Mitchell-Moore. So we're about to see the Dowman Honda sponsored Formula Streets, race number 2 for them, race 13 on a 17 race program. So it is a very, very busy day here at Wanganui. And of course every year they make improvements. Some of the track has been resurfaced.
There's Harris, he's looking good.
Watch the start. Harris dives down to the inside and takes it 7. Terry Fitzgerald through in second place. Now this could be a battle with father and son because Hayden Fitzgerald is in this race as well. We mentioned before that Terry Fitzgerald's been coming here for 18 years. Well, Hayden Fitzgerald is 19 years of age. Is there a connection?
Yeah, I'd say it's in his blood. Now look at Harris, he's really good off the start. The guy probably weighs about 65, 70 kg, so it's really conducive to fast starts.
Well, I talked to Sean just before this race, Paul, and they tell me that they've really redeveloped the Honda this year. That's got pretty much the same rear suspension setup as the Honda works bike of Valentino Rossi, and he said that's where it's got the edge. It just handles so much better than the Yamahas and the Suzukis.
Well, I've been using one of these machines at the track days that Vince Sharp organises, and Honda provide one, and what an amazing little motorbike. It really, really is a great handling bike. It just doesn't do anything wrong.
So the Gremlin it is, number 37, Sean Harris out in the front. Right in behind him, bike number 1, that is Craig Sheriffs on the Bernard Racing Shell Advanced Oil Suzuki. And in third place it looks like it might be Terry Fitzgerald. So the veteran is going to argue about this one as well. And I think just got a glimpse maybe of Jared Love in fourth place. We'll pick that up for you when they come just a little bit closer.
Sheriff's body language is very aggressive. Just watch him when going into these corners. The bike's all over the place, and he's on a mission. He wants a piece of Sean Harris. I mean, what a thing, what a yardstick. Sean Harris, the guy who cleaned up the Isle of Man TT.
Well, and he's a guy that never knows when he's beaten, is Sean Harris. He's one of those guys that just charges 110% all the time. Here comes Sheriffs, though, looking down the inside, didn't make the pass work that time as they came out onto the Taupo Key once again. Big field in the Formula Streets, a popular form of racing. Of course, this is the first round of the North Island Battle of the Streets. The second round will be February 22nd. That is the Pyra race, of course, and that will be something to see. It always is, as is Wanganui. These guys perform in bigger crowds than they ever do on the circuit series, don't they, Paul? They really do warm to the occasion, if you like. The adrenaline really starts to buzz, and you see there, Sheriff's just made a bit of a mistake. He shakes his head, and Harris, well, he gets to breathe again because he's got a little bit of room now.
Yeah, Phil, you're dead right too. You turn up to a meeting like this and the streets are packed and you know you're going to be on TV, you'll just ride your heart out to put on a good show because you know that all your mates are going to be watching and you've got to come up with the goods. Your sponsors are keeping an eye on things. It really does get the best out of these guys.
Well, we saw in the first race a race between these two, but the positions were reversed. Now it is Sean Harris in the front from New Plymouth. In second place, Palmerston North, Craig Sheriffs. There is third, that's Terry Fitzgerald. There isn't too many machines he hasn't ridden, and right in behind him now, and that is Jared Love. So a real battle developing for third and fourth here as well. Look at Love on the 69, just stalking Terry Fitzgerald. But Fitzgerald's been around for a long, long time. He'll be a wake-up to all the tricks, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's the new guard and the old guard. You've got Terry Fitzgerald and Sean Harris representing the nearly 40s or 40-pluses, and Craig Sheriff and Jared Love, the young Lions.
So once again, Sheriffs has a look on the outside, but it is Harris that shuts the door as they come through the right-hander, down into Firestone, out onto the Pirelli turn, and into Taupo Key they go once again. But there's nothing in it. And once again, we saw it in the first round of Battle of the Streets. Is the lap riders going to play a part in this? Calvin Hill would be wise to just get out of the way, and that's exactly what he does as this freight train comes rocketing through the S's and heads up towards the Robert Holden Memorial turn. What a battle at the front of this field.
Yeah, Craig Sheriff, he's looking dangerous. And that's not putting any doubt on Harris's credentials. He's just looking very smooth, and he said he's focused on the championship this year. Maybe he's going to take a bit of a conservative effort in this one.
Well, he's only got one lap to do it now, and once again he closes up onto the shoulder of Sean Harris as they go through the right-hander, down through Firestone. They'll be out onto Taupo Key. There is the man in third place, that's Terry Fitzgerald. Forget about bike number 73 for the moment, in fact 67, and look for number 69 because that is Jared Love, and he's currently in fourth. Sheriffs has got up inside of Sean Harris right on the last lap. Talk about timing, Paul Pavletics. He's done it, and now he's going to put a lap rider between himself and Harris and make the pass hurt even more. Here comes the gremlin, though. He's not done with yet.
Yeah, he was having a look. He was looking for any dent in the armour. He would have had a crack at him then. But he was solid.
In command on the Suzuki, the Honda of Sean Harris in second place. It was a last lap pass that did it. The checkered flag will fall, and Craig Sheriff will give himself a pat on the back there. The Bernard Racing machine, he gets the win. Second place, Sean Harris will be absolutely filthy. In third place, it was the veteran Terry Fitzgerald, then Jared Love. Johan Brins, we mentioned him before, maybe one to watch for in the future. Behind him, Dennis Charlotte, Craig Gollop, and Kari Bryant.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. It's awesome riding against a good quality rider like Craig around here. Both of us, we got the fastest lap times of the day. The thousands, the whole lot, they can just go home. It's a 600 class, we roll. So Craig will go out there and win the Robert Holden as well. I'm not doing that, so my money's on Craig to win that outright.
Race 14 on the program is the second heat of the Super Motard, brought to you by BP on the Key and Tate Engineering. And once again, a fantastic start there from bike number 8, and that is Stephen Briggs.
Beautifully in, there he goes, sideways, backs it into the first corner. These things accelerate just like a skyrocket. They got 60 horsepower and they weigh around 80, 90 kilograms.
So we see the first heat winner there, 95, Craig Flood, and a little bit of spark off the boot of Briggs as he works his way over the railway line for the first of 5 times. And Flood is on full attack mode, it looks like, Paul.
Yeah, this Honda's got a fair bit of punch. It's a 650cc monster. And that was quite easy. He left the door wide open then.
So the new race leader is number 95 now, Wanganui domicile. This is Craig Flood. Watch for the man in third place. Didn't have the happiest of times in race number 1. This is Brendan Stevenson on the Hewitt's Motorcycles machine.
I know Stephen's suffering from his wrist's a bit weak at the moment. He recently had an operation. He broke it up in the forest doing a bit of enduro riding. So maybe that's affecting his speed today a little bit.
Well, I tell you what, these bikes should be a handful to get around this 0.9 of a mile circuit. 51st year here at Wanganui for the cemetery circuit. Big celebrations last year. The weather hasn't really played its part this time. It's a little bit overcast. The crowd here in droves again, and the racing just as exciting as you would expect. This is race number 2 for the Super Motards. It's a cross between a motocrosser and, well, a road racer, I guess you'd say. We talked about the differences. The wheels are a little bit smaller. The suspension isn't quite as soft as on a motocross machine, and of course, if they can, they reduce that travel somewhat. You must feel like, Paul, you're sitting up on top of a 2-story building.
Yeah, you do. One thing you mentioned before about the rain starting to look a bit ominous, this would be the best bike you could ride around Wanganui in the rain. They're very torquey, they punch out of corners, they've got good brakes, they've got wide handlebars. So, you know, if it rained, this could be an upset in the open class.
Well, I think we may get our wish. I just saw a couple of spots on a couple of our camera lenses there, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. 95 flood in the front, Briggs in six. Look at that, perfect. That's what Valentino Rossi does on his road racer. Well, Stephen Briggs can do it on his factory KTM.
Well, Stephen Briggs has got a background in speedway, so I know he was quite a talented speedway rider when under 21s.
Craig Sargent leading this charge here, number 14 on the KTM 660 from Waipakarau. But there is the battle for first and second once again. Flood, as we told you, normally seen on the streets of Wanganui on his beloved Honda road race machines, but now he has shifted allegiances. I think his second season in Super Motard. He knows that it could be the coming class. Look at the black lines he leaves as he works his way out of the turn 1 once again.
He's doing a good job to keep the front wheel on the ground. I rode this bike last year and the thing just wanted to power stand everywhere, so he's really got good throttle control.
So expert comments and opinions coming from Paul Pavletic, a man that holds or has held something like 13 national road racing titles. So he knows just what's going through the minds of Craig Flood and also Stephen Briggs. And Briggs once again just backing it into the Robert Holden. That is a fantastic shot.
Absolute crowd favourite. They really do swarm to the hay bales and safety barrier fences to get as good a view as they can of Stephen Briggs just backing that KTM in sideways.
Well, maybe you get the feeling as the checkered flag comes out for Craig Flood that if he can't win the battle, he might as well have some fun, and that's probably why Stephen Briggs was getting it sideways in the turns. But no taking it away from this man. He makes it 2 for 2 in the Super Motards. Craig Flood takes the win. Stephen Briggs is second. Jaden Carrick picks up another third place. Behind him, it's Wellington's Derek McAdam. Brendan Stevenson fifth on another KTM. In 6th place, it is Paulie G. Every time you guys come off the bike, you got big grins, so it looks like it's a hell of a lot of fun out there.
Oh, it's good fun. You slip and slide and carry on, you know, but most of us not quite as much as what Steve does, but you know, it's really good. It's really good, and yeah, advise anyone in New Zealand or wherever they get on a bike and have a go at it. It's great fun, you know.
Steve, another 2nd place, but you got to explain to us the technique coming over the railway lines.
It's just something I picked up in Europe. Europeans are really big into it. They make the bikes slide into the corners because quite often they put you onto a dirt section straight afterwards. So you need to have the bike really well straight up and down when you get onto the dirt with the slick. So therefore, you got to really slide the bike in and get it nice and straight.
Well, you know, Stephen Briggs said you're going to need the bike straight up and down. I suggest to you, Paul Pavletic, that in this Robert Holden Memorial, you're going to need the bike straight up and down when you put the power on, because unfortunately, we hinted about it before, but it is raining, and it is number 52, John Hepburn, that leads them slowly into turn 1. Something we should tell you is they've changed the format of the Robert Holden Memorial. In the past, it's just been a 15-lap straight-out feature race. For something a little bit different, maybe to get a little bit more excitement, a little bit more entertainment for the crowd, this will be 3 5-lap races. Each competitor will change their grid position during the little lull between the second and conversely the third heats.
Well, I tell you what, this is the slipperiest circuit in New Zealand in the rain. I've ridden on every single one of them many times, and this is a scary place when it rains. There's a lot of off-cambers, there's a lot of white lines. This bridge coming up, the left-hander over the bridge, is the slipperiest corner that I've ever come across.
You know, we mentioned earlier on about Johan Bruns. He was one to watch maybe when it got a bit damp. That's what we've got here at Wanganui, and this kid is something in the rain. He took out the Victoria Motorcycle Club Winter Series, and you've got to say that the weather was very inclement up at Manfield through that series, but Johan Bruns attacked it better than anyone, and that's what he's doing here in this 5-lapper. Bruns in the front, Hepburn in second place. No featuring at this stage from the hotshots, if you like. No Brian Bernard in the picture at the moment, no Jared Love. Terry Fitzgerald into third, so experience starting to play here as well, Paul.
Yeah, and there's a combination of machines that are suited to these wet conditions. The little 600s, pick of the crop. You've also got a V-twin Aprilia there, nice smooth power delivery, and a real level head on Johnny Hepburn, you know, top South Island rider. So, yeah, I'm not surprised the big 1000cc's aren't at the front at the moment.
Well, John said that his bike maybe lacks 20 or 30 horsepower on the top Suzuki's, Yamahas or Hondas, but as you mentioned, he's got the experience head on his shoulders, and that bike handles like a dream.
Yeah, and who wants 155 horsepower at the back wheel in these conditions? Not me.
So one rather slow lap completed in the Robert Holden Memorial. Remember, essentially 3 heat races of 5 laps. Johan Bruns, the Wellington Motorcycle Centre rider, out in the front. And what a connection the Wellington Motorcycle Centre has with this race, Paul Pavlevich.
Oh, they've just got such a legacy, though. Robert Holden, Bob Toomey, Neville Hiscock, Dave Hiscock, just champions, you know, a huge pedigree.
Further down through the field, battles within battles, Lance Lowe, and there is bike number 1, and that is Craig Sheriffs. And we said earlier on that he was a very aggressive rider, but maybe the condition is just catching some of these guys out. I know they've all gone to wet tyres because they had that opportunity in the last race. The heavens opened up here at Wanganui, threatened to do it quite a few times, and the clouds kept going over, but this time they have stayed for good, and unfortunately it's put a bit of a damper on the Robert Holden Memorial. Checkered flag comes out, 66, first leg of a 3-leg journey goes to the Wellingtonian. Johan Bruns takes the win. In second place it is number 7, Terry Fitzgerald, and in third place it's the veteran on the Aprilia, that is John Hepburn. Fourth place, Auckland's Lance Lowe, and in fifth place, carrying bike number 1, that is Craig Sheriffs. And sixth on the Super Motard, Stephen Briggs. Okay, they've reshuffled the grid. Here we go again, another 5 laps. Who's got the start as they work their way into the Firestone turn? Well, I don't think I've seen them go that slow all throughout the day, Paul.
No, that's right. It's just so difficult to get that horsepower down off the line. They just sit there wheel spinning and everybody's tentative. The last thing you want to do is take out the fellow rider next to you.
So across the railway lines for the first time, it is number 30, and that is Craig Gollop from Upper Hutt on the Yamaha in front, but it's Bruns in second place. So if he can put together a pretty consistent performance here, he will be looking good to take out his first Robert Holden Memorial. One rider we should probably mention isn't here. They had mechanical problems all day, and that is Jason McEwen. He was going for a third win in the Robert Holden Memorial, but it's not going to happen for him. And another one we should mention isn't here. Chris Haldane had problems with the big Ducati. And it looks to me, Paul, as though we've lost Brian Bernard there as well.
Yeah, well, in these sort of conditions, it's just absolutely no fun. And in fact, it's nearly dangerous riding a bike that powerful on wet, slippery roads. Johan's picked his game up. Boy, he's on the pace. He's starting to extend a bit of a lead at the moment.
Well, people told us that he was a master in the rain, and that's what he's proving here at Wanganui. This is the battle for second and third. Lance Lowe wants a piece of it. Craig Gollop just in front on the Yamaha. Lowe on the Suzuki. There is Bruns just going out of your shot across the railway lines. 52 Hepburn. Then it's Stephen Briggs. Can you believe it? A Super Motard mixing it up in the Robert Holden Memorial. Tell you what, you'd go a long way to see a scene like that.
Well, I think too, if Briggs can get on the front row in the last race, he could easily lead this race. Johan Bruns is running Pirelli, so they're working really well in these wet conditions.
So there is second through, that is Lance Lowe. Then this battle, this titanic battle in the conditions that we've delivered up here at Wanganui. Remember, we mentioned earlier that the race track has been resurfaced. Some of those white lines by now, Paul, would be getting very, very slippery indeed.
Certainly would. Now, did you see number 52, Johnny Hepburn, take the tight inside line, squared it off, and use the V-twin torque to pump out of the corner?
Now, this is the battle on your screens now. 30 is Craig Gollop. Alongside him, just out of shot, is number 52. That's John Hepburn on the Eric Wood Motorcycles Aprilia. And right in behind him, we just got a glimpse of him there. And that was bike number 32, I think it was, Hayden Fitzgerald. So he's come to play as well, the son of Terry Fitzgerald.
And these young guys, as they gain more experience on these tricky conditions, will just get better and better.
So Johan Bruns is the race leader, and he is a mile in front. This man in second place, and that will be the best result, I'm sure, for Lance Lowe in the Robert Holden Memorials, all of the ones that he's competed in.
Well, they'll be wondering what's got in his belly, because he's really clearing off. That's a sensational ride by Johan Bruns.
Well, once again, the inside line pays off this time for John Hepburn. Checkered flag comes out, though, and Johan Bruns makes it 2 for 2. Lance Lowe will be safely in second place, but this is the battle for third. Look at Gollop on the inside. He's just going to pip John Hepburn. So Gollop on the Yamaha will come through in third place. In fourth, it will be John Hepburn. Fifth place is Terry Fitzgerald. In sixth, it's Stephen Briggs on the Super Motard KTM. And in seventh place, it is Bill Gray. You know, you said, Paul Pavlidis, that if the Super Motard was on the front, they could win this race. Well, you've got your wish. Both Craig Flood and Stephen Briggs on the front row. And maybe Briggs is going to lead them into the first turn. Just got a glimpse there of Johan Bruns. He started right from the very back, and he's already started to cut his way through. So what's going to happen as they come out onto Taupo Key? I'm sure the Super Motards will get swamped out of sheer horsepower as they come through now. Terry Fitzgerald up in second place, but maybe I've got it wrong. Look at Briggs.
Briggs will be holding a really tight line if he's on the Casey wall, because he can square that 660cc single-cylinder bike and punch out of the corner faster than anything.
And look at that, Johan Bruns already up into third place, and I've got a feeling if he stays there, he could be going home with the Robert Holden Memorial title tucked into his gear bag.
See, I'm really surprised Stephen Briggs went so wide then. He should have been just apexing and powering out. Number 7, that's Terry Fitzgerald's made the most of it.
Well, I guess they say, you know, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and there's probably none tougher in New Zealand motorcycling than Terry Fitzgerald. Been around a long, long time, as we told you. He was awarded the Freedom of the Streets here at Wanganui. He's been competing here for over 18 years in all conditions, I'm sure.
It must be such a thrill for him to come to the races with his son and see his boy doing so well.
He took out the Winter Series this year, based out of Manfield for the Victoria Motorcycle Club, and now he is going to win, I'm sure. I don't think he even needs to pass Terry Fitzgerald to take out the Robert Holden Memorial for 2003. The 51st running of the Cemetery Circuit here at Wanganui. It's a shame the rain has put a bit of a dampener on the party. Well, forget about not worrying about passing Terry Fitzgerald. He made it look easy.
And Wellington Motorcycles too have got a history of backing winners, and they've certainly picked one here.
66, Johan Bruns in the front. In second place, Terry Fitzgerald. Suzuki 1 and 2.
I reckon he's going to clear off. He's certainly got the hammer down, and his body language is aggressive. He's just firing it into that corner. Let's see if he can pull a bit of a gap. Takes a quick peek behind, and yep, he's got the situation in control.
Well, the Suzuki has been the dominant bike here at Wanganui once again this year. 66 and 7 there, 2 Suzukis out in the front of the Robert Holden Memorial. Looks like Johnny Hepburn might have got himself up into third place. So Stephen Briggs drops down. Lance Lowe's got up inside him as well. Over the railway line they go. Craig Flood there too. So the Super Motards aren't going to be left out of this one. But this guy, well, I wonder what's going through his head at the moment, Paul Pavlidis. He's about to win the biggest race of his life.
He'll have a smile a mile wide. His eyes are like saucers. You can see them through the visor there. He's very, very focused. He just desperately wants to win this.
Well, he's got to be, doesn't he? He's only got... Well, there comes the checkered flag. I thought the white might have been out, but there it is. Number 66, a new innovation this year at the Robert Holden. The 3 heats to decide it, and Johan Bruns takes the win. In second place, it will be the veteran Terry Fitzgerald. So Suzuki 1 and 2. In third, it's Lance Lowe. Fourth was the Aprilia of John Hepburn. In fifth place, the first of the Super Motards. That was great. Well, Johan, congratulations. A clean sweep in the Robert Holden Memorial must feel pretty special for you.
Oh, this is awesome. I haven't... Yeah, that's awesome. Speechless.
And stay with us on Shell Helix Motorsport.